we're married.
Consider that a divorce.
Directed by Paul Verhoeven, Total Recall takes us on a thrilling journey through the mind of Douglas Quaid, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Set in a dystopian future, the plot revolves around Quaid's quest to uncover his true identity after undergoing a memory-altering procedure. Packed with action, twists, and groundbreaking visual effects, this film is a true sci-fi gem. Alongside Schwarzenegger, Total Recall boasts an impressive cast, including Sharon Stone, Rachel Ticotin, and Michael Ironside, each delivering unforgettable performances that elevate the film's impact. Released to immense anticipation, Total Recall dominated the box office, grossing over $261 million worldwide, cementing its status as a sci-fi classic that continues to captivate audiences to this day. On this episode of Classics of Cinematics, Monk and Bobby Blockbuster take a look at this fun and exciting Hey folks, man, this adventure. is Monk. We are back with another episode of Classics of Cinematics, and I'm joined as always with my co-host. We got Bobby Blockbuster. Yo. This film is a giant, man. It's a juggernaut. It's one of my favorite films. It's in the top 3 Arnold Schwarzenegger films for me, man. And it's just one of my top sci-fi films in general because that Verhoeven touch, man. But what's something else that stands out about this film?
Well, I mean, I gotta address the elephant in the room. This film presented us with a woman with 3 breasts. I've never seen that before in a film ever. And like I said, I saw this movie when I was 8, and that was a lot for me to process.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Seeing 2 breasts was a lot to process at 8 for me. Seeing 3. Right,
it was a lot at 12, dude.
But now that I got that off my chest, these characters, dude, like the cast, like you just spoke. I mean, it's pretty heavy hitting. But these characters that are presented to us, I mean, what Arnold brings to the table as our star, he does all the heavy lifting, and I mean, you can see it, but. Even with that to the side, these side characters, they're so memorable. Whether they have the shortest amount of time on screen. I mean, think of it like this. You watch this movie one time, the 2 weeks lady, you can't forget her. She's on screen for what? Maybe a minute and some change? You know what I mean? Yeah. And then what we get from all these mutants, dude, from Tinkerbell to Tony, like I said, the woman with the 3rd breast. But Benny ate it up. I mean, I love watching him on screen just because, I mean, his charisma and what he brings to this film. It sucks that he's a traitor, but it all makes sense.
Yeah. This is one of those films where the main character, he's going, but he's being guided. It's as if his alter ego has left breadcrumbs for him to follow. It's one of those things. If you're reading this, it's already too late. Yeah. And follow these instructions, kind of thing. But the characters are great, man, including Schwarzenegger himself as Quaid, man. And I love because he's playing an everyman, but it's weird. It's like, bro, you just a regular construction worker, which I know sometimes you got to be strong, but you ain't that strong. Where my man's got the guns. He's a
ninja.
But
out of left field.
He's in full-on action star mode, and it's funny because that's part of my entertainment in this because he's Arnold still. Like my man's been in America, I don't know how long, but he still has his Australian accent as thick as ever, and at this time it was super thick.
We get the Arnold grunt all throughout this film. I did nothing wrong.
Immediately.
It's great. But then, also, I love what we get from our female stars, man. Sharon Stone, Sharon Stone she great. Was dope. She was the ultimate, deceitful woman, but in the best way.
Yeah, this was her first mainstream thing. Yes. She had done other Carrico era productions, which I think this film falls under, with the Alan Quartermain series. Yeah. So Verhoeven liked her so much in this, he cast her in Basic Instinct later. But you're right, because Sharon Stone and Rachel, they both kill it, man. And I love this film for giving us these strong women characters that were standing toe to toe with the men. Like honestly, if you ask me, man, Sharon Stone was more deadlier than Richter. Like if they had to go toe to toe, I'm putting my money on her. Or Lori,
dude, because she was a ninja. Dude, that fight scene, that was one of the best female fight scenes of its time. Because before that, they would just have them kind of do these little cat fights, little scraping and crawling. They went on full ninja mode, dog.
Arnold in that one scene,
almost kicked his nuts off twice.
I love that, man. Like it was cool. Like I said, for a film to be at this time to show that on the screen, I thought that was interesting.
But then also with Rachel, I mean, she's got this ultimate like hero vibe. She's like a more badass like Princess Leia in a sense, where I mean she can be romantic and all that stuff. You see that, but then she also has no problem picking up an AK and spraying the room.
Yeah, man, it's
what more
great.
Can you ask for?
You're right. The characters, I think, are great, man. Even when we go to the it's just so weird because they remade this film in what 2012, and it has none of the heart that this has. And I think the heart we get is because Verhoeven. I don't know if it's just a byproduct of his filmmaking. I feel like we saw the same thing in RoboCop, where even characters that don't have a lot of screen time, they feel like fully developed people, you know, in his films, man. I'm counting this with RoboCop especially, and even later on with Starship Troopers. As nutty as that is, man, you kind of felt bad when those people were dying, you know, in that film. Like as goofy as that film is, like he has that touch. He knows what matters, you know.
On a side note, I'm glad you brought up RoboCop because initially when that film came out, Arnold was supposed to play RoboCop, but he couldn't fit in the suit. Serious. If I'm lying, I'm flying, bro.
He's doing too much bulking, bro. It's too much.
He liked RoboCop so much that he was determined to work with Verhoeven.
Yeah.
And then actually, this story was passed around by a couple different distributors, and the distributing company that had it before. What was it? It's not Cohaven. Is it Cohaven? Whatever production company.
Carolco.
There we go.
Carolco.
Before they bought it, this other company went belly up, and Arnold personally convinced Kuroko production companies to buy this film.
Yeah.
And he was like, you have to star me. And then they gave him like he had all these like weird rights. Like he was in control of the distribution and the marketing and like he was able to make all these coaching moves.
He was Arnold. Because by then they had already done. By then we had Commando. Like Arnold was a proven box office draw for that, man. You know,
Running Man,
Predator, Running Man. Also, and I think they were all linked to that. Company that distribution Carolco Films, you know, so it made sense, man. Definitely great characters.
And money well spent. Because with good story, good characters, what else do you need in a dope ass sci-fi film? Good effects.
Yeah. So here's a crazy thing about. We looked this up earlier before we started. This film cost $65 million to make in 1990. Yes. This was crazy. Like honestly, if we're thinking about it, this was probably the most. One of the most expensive films coming up to that moment, you know what I'm saying, putting this out, and every bit of dollars on that film. So today we did the inflation calculator. That's $145 million today. That's a Marvel level production film. If they made Total Recall today, and they got their money back.
Hell yeah! As a matter of fact, they got 261.4 million of it back. So they pretty much made 200 off spending 60.
And it's on the screen, man.
Yes.
The special effects, I really love the makeup because it's a near future world. I don't know what year it's supposed to take place, but it's probably wrong because I love how they predict that. Some films predict that 1990 is going to have flying cars, but we know.
Blade Runner was supposed to take place in 2019, and that was 4 years ago.
Yeah,
we ain't Blade Running.
No, we're not doing none of that. So, but you do see a world like with cars that drive themselves. Dude, you've got that X-ray machine is like the airport now. It's not doesn't like.
I'm glad you brought that. I was about to say that.
There's cool stuff in here. The world looks futuristic. The set designs, like there's sets like even the 2 week scene. That little travel hub looks futuristic. The bars, the stuff that's in the streets, and I'm like, man. And when you think about it, these sets had to be built on a soundstage. They didn't exist,
dude. And this was also one of the last Blockbuster films where they used like miniature set designs in grand scale to create this world, and then also
you're right, like when he first gets to Mars, that little train, like that had to be built.
That had to be built, and like you said, with the X-ray machine, that was like the only CGI that was really used in this film, so it was all practical effects.
Yeah,
but
this film is badass.
What really works for me also is the makeup designs. Dude, the look of mutants, it changed the way the world views aliens at that time, and it's because of this origin that they gave. They said that they were humans that inhabited Mars, and then due to Mars's condition, it deformed them in a way, and all of them had these very unique, distinct
they had cheek
looks.
Domes that allowed some of the radiation to come in, and it affected.
But also with
some of the people
with the physical distortion, it also gave them abilities. Like there's the one lady with the half eye.
I wonder if that's
tell the future.
I wonder if that's in the original story. One of you people that's watching this could let us know in the comments, because I'm not not reading that shit. But let us know. I want to know what parts of it, you know, were. Maybe there's a video out there on YouTube that I'm gonna look up and find out what parts are from the adaptation and what parts Verhoeven put into the story himself.
One thing I do know is that the other production company that had their hands on this, Cronenberg, was supposed to direct this first, and then he made a few additions.
I can't see this being a film he would direct. No, he's not this big in scale as Verhoeven.
He was the one who kind of like put in this mutant touch. But
that's cool.
We have to give credit to what's his name, Rob Bottin. He's the one who did the actual look. This was all his. You know, he thought this up in his head. The makeup guy. And the coolest one of all of them to me personally is what we got from Quaid. Like me, I think 100% full on that Quaid. That's a testament to Basket Case. Those that have seen that film know exactly what I'm talking about and why I say that, because of the look, the feel. But I mean, this thing, this protruding almost like hernia face that's jumping out of this man's stomach and actually is like the savior of the revolution, dog. I mean, and like, dude, they said, he was fully animatronic. It took 15 puppeteers to make this dude come to life whenever he was on screen.
But it's funny because like this film is really brutal, and that's a Verhoeven touch. Like we've seen that in, like I said, the RoboCop, the action and the gore. Like, you know what I love about Verhoeven films? Like at least the I haven't seen Basic Instinct. I've never seen that, dude. That's a big gap in my film going thing.
It's okay.
But I've seen everything. I think I've definitely seen this, RoboCop, Starship Troopers. I don't know what else he's done, but there's a look that he brings to his production, and I don't know if it's because of his director of photography. He seems to employ the same people. I'd imagine the same people who did effects work in RoboCop also worked on this, and he brings a really interesting world that he brings to the table, man, and I love that, man. Like it's like I feel like this is an extension of RoboCop. We get RoboCop, but if you flash 20, 30, 40 years into the future, we're still looking at that same world, but just a more advanced tone of it, man. And I think that's what that world does a lot of storytelling for us, man. The visual aspects of this and how.
When there's something trippy too, dog, is that movie Minority Report was actually, when it was first written and brought to life, it was supposed to be Total Recall 2.
That's actually also a Philip K. Dick story as well, you know.
But they decided not to do that because then it would just be an extension on Quaid's character, which would then definitively give us the fact that this wasn't a dream, it was reality, and that would completely take away one of the biggest.
And that's the thing too. Another big aspect of this film is we're getting interstellar travel.
Yeah.
Because it's funny because when he goes to the recall place, the guy's convincing him to, why don't you just go to Saturn? Yeah. You know, that's easy.
It's beautiful out there. It's beautiful. And they talk about visiting all these planets like everyone just does it. Like we're talking about going to Cali or something.
Yeah, they do. They do. But Recall is a cheaper alternative. It's like say it would cost me $1,200 to go to Hawaii. I could have the Hawaii memory implanted for like $3. And get y'all some flicks so I can post on the gram. What? Be like, yeah, Monk was out here. They probably will make that with
exactly,
bro. With AI now, like.
and you know, depending on what kind of vacation you want to have, you get to pick your counterpart. Decide what he or she looks like, depending on your sexual preference and what they're willing to do.
It's wild because it's so wild to me that he's married to Sharon Stone, who's at her prime in this. Yes. Dude. She's smoking hot, crazy talented. Like she's one of the best. Like if a film like this could have got an Oscar nomination, she's definitely getting supporting. Actress role for this because she killed it, man. As a bad guy, she's one of the. You know what? Remember when we were doing those top villain things when we were doing the? She would definitely make one of those episodes. Like, and it's crazy.
She put the legwork in, all the stunts. Like when she's flipping around, that's really her. Like like they said, Offset Arnold was calling her the female Terminator because of the amount of hard work that she was putting in to really just embody and bring to life this character. And I mean, it translates on screen.
Yeah, man.
You know, also, you know, I'm always the guy that brings up the score. I love that because I love music.
No, this one definitely was worth mentioning.
And it's so fucking good, dude, because this dude, Jerry Goldsmith, I looked at some of the other stuff he did. This was his most high market film, and, you know, justifiably so. He said this was his favorite film that he scored. But the funny thing about it is he was getting some criticism because they said that this movie didn't have a like definitive theme like your Jaws or your Jason, but it doesn't really
It does
need
though,
one.
kind of. Well, I think the theme of this is more like the title theme and the end theme. That's the definitive thing. But like moment to moment, it does what it needs to do.
What it does for me is it kind of translates the same way as what we got from Conan the Barbarian, where it really adds emphasis to the adventure depending on what's happening at the time. You know, what I mean?
they need to raise up on my man, because he also did the original Planet of the Apes.
Oh, there you
he
go.
did Rambo Part 1 and 2, the originals. And he did Gremlins, bro. He did the Gremlins score, man. Come on, son.
So maybe that's why they were trying to hold him to a higher theme.
And Chinatown, come on, bro. That's, man, they gotta relax, bro. Like, he's got classes under his belt.
I was like, dude, and I mean, this score does everything a good score should do for a high-profile film. I mean, what more can you ask for? Like I said, if it brings the high energy and the emphasis to what we're seeing translated on screen, what do you want?
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, this thing is great, dude. One of the other aspects I really love, like I said, man, the FX work, excuse me, is top notch, because it gives us moments. You know, like I said, him walking through that X-ray machine.
Never seen that before this movie.
No, you never seen that before this movie, and it still holds up, even though it's an old effect. Like him, and you see like his robot and skeletal version,
or like he's got
when he's being chased, and then he just jumps through. It's like, I was like, yo, that still holds up, man. That's an awesome scene. I might have to clip that. That's gonna be the next clip. But then when you get into the animatronics, like you said, with Quado, and one of my favorite moments is Benny. Like later on, when it's revealed, oh, dude, because the Resistance guys basically the plot gets crazy, man.
It does.
Basically, what ends up happening is I can't remember what is his name. Was it Hannigan?
Hennigan. It's something with an H.
Something with an H, man. So you find out that you know, the Resistance. That's basically what happened, man.
Yeah.
Basically, the Resistance got to our Quaid character. While he was the secret agent, man.
And then he was kind of like a mole.
Yeah, he was a mole. And the agency found out
with the rebellion,
which is also weird. So instead of killing him, the agency just wipes his memory and
ships him
and
to Mars.
retires him to civilian life.
Yeah.
So
we're not gonna kill you. We're gonna go make you be a construction worker.
Yeah. So there's that moment where he links back up with the Resistance, and they're trying to test him out. And then there's like, who's this guy, man? Why is he with you? And Benny's on some snake shit, but Benny pulls his sleeve off and he pulls his arm up.
Yep.
And he shows his deformity. He's like, I'm one of you too. Because basically most of the Martians now who are poor and beat down, they had poor domes, and their poor domes allow radiation to seep in. And basically, it basically mutated the children.
And that's how Cohagen, the leader of the agency, is pretty much pimping Mars as a whole, because he's solely the sole distributor of the air. So he's spoon feeding them air and shit. Like, what?
Yeah. So basically, Mars is like a mining colony.
Yeah.
Mostly, for the most part, they mine it for minerals and stuff. There's people that live there that work for these miners, but then there's also a slight tourism. You know, there's a red light district, and it's crazy. It's like Mars is like Amsterdam, in space.
Right.
It's the galaxy's Amsterdam.
And
man.
you know, it's funny too, because I mean, I didn't really ever think about this before, and it's just the way my mind works now at my age. But you know, there's the part where Benny's messing with the chick. He's like, man, you make me wish I had 3 hands. But you know, when you think about it, bro, he does. He has his human hand, he has the alien hand, and he has his robot hand that covers the alien hand.
But I feel like he's just undercover now. He's maintaining his cover. He's not trying to. You blew my cover. See, that's another Arnold line. Like,
what did I do wrong?
But the last thing I want to harp on is Arnold himself in this film, and he's peak Arnold. Like
he is.
Arguably, someone else probably could have done this a lot better, but arguably, I don't think it's as fun with someone else, because part of the fun is Arnold. His imperfections make it great.
And he brings the action, dog. If it's someone else like Swayze or anyone else,
it's not as fun.
Then it's just full on sci-fi.
Like when his boys when his construction worker buddy, because he talks to him, he's like, hey, I'm thinking about going to Rekall and getting an implant, and my man's like, don't fuck with your brain. like sounded like Raphael from Mr. Turtle.
Yes, dude. Yes, man.
But he goes and do it, and then when he comes from the place and they yoke him up, It's like like
it's so great. But see, because we get Arnold, we get this high-powered action. I mean, it makes this kind of play like Indiana Jones in space.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, in a way,
It's tripped out, man. It's tripped out.
Bugged the fuck
and also,
out, man.
one more thing, when we talk about like effects and all this film has to offer, just the gadgets as a whole. You know what I'm saying? The guns, all the guns, even though they're handheld, pistols, single shots, they all look like techs.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
They do. They all look like submachine guns.
Well, yeah, but it's a tech. It's a regular handheld firearm.
Look like a Uzi, but it's it's the size of a Glock.
My man's got a hologram. I love that part when he just kind of comes in. He's like,
I love that.
Right?
Love that,
and then he comes, he sprays everyone. He's like, oh, he's got a hologram. No shit.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this thing has probably like 3 of his best one-liners.
Yes.
You think this is the Will Quaid?
Yeah. It is. My favorite is after he shoots Sharon Stone. Consider that a divorce.
Yo, my favorite. I love that. That's probably the best one. But right behind that is when my man is he's fighting the dude on the elevator, and then dude ends up falling on the edge. So the elevator's right there, and it basically
these arms chops off.
Yeah. So then he's like see because that's what happened. It's funny because there's that mode where they're about to change him back into I can't remember the guy's name. It was Hauser.
There you go, Hauser. Yes, the brain part is over.
Some shit like that.
Douglas Hauser.
So they're about to wipe his memory and change him back to Hauser, and then Richter punches him in the face. He's like, "Wow!" He's like, "I see you at the party." Yeah, I owed you. I see you at the party. And so then Richter, he comes up. He's looking like he's about to kill this guy, but he's fucked up. So then later on, when Richter's arms get ripped off, and it's funny, he's holding him up. It's like and then he throws him the arms down. It's like, see you at the party, Richter.
And it's so funny because dude, Richter is just so hell bent with him because you find out that Sharon Stone is just a mole, but that's actually Richter's girl.
Yeah,
like dude, it trips me when Richter's homeboy. And like Richter's like yeah, we gotta kill him. He was like, are you mad because she was like having to deal with Quaid, and he was like, yeah, man. He was like, yeah, I'm sure. He was like, she probably hates it. And he was like, yeah, I'm sure she hated being with this guy. Yeah. And gave him that like smug, smart ass look. It's like, dude, Richter was so bitter.
He was so mad, yo. Yeah,
he kept telling him to not try and kill him, subdue him, bring him back. And every time he's like, nah, man, I'm 86 in this dude.
But you know what's funny about this and RoboCop is like they're also kind of making commentary on out of control corporate shit because that's what Cohagen is basically. Yeah. Basically, they gave this corporation the rights to mine Mars, and because they went in there and set up the mining operation, they effectively run Mars. So they're the ones setting the rules and the laws there, and it's kind of, and you see the corruption there as well. It's just fucked up, man. So, man, this film has so many layers, bro.
It's almost like when you think of like medieval times where how like the only ones that were really eaten in the world were those in positions of power or with that had money, and everybody else is just begging for crumbs and shit. They were treating the mutants the same way.
This film has so many layers, bro. Like it's better than it had to be.
Way
it's
better.
One of the ones if you take out the Arnold. Like you said, you could have replaced it with some other actor, but I don't think it would have been as fun to me, man. Like there's some funness because it is ridiculous. It crosses that line because we've got Arnold Schwarzenegger playing this role. But outside of that, everything else is just done in such a A+ way, man.
Yes.
Like this is a great film, dude.
It's aesthetically, visually, story-wise, it's pleasing in all ways. And there's a reason why this film is so high on the must-see movie list.
And then, like I said, they try to do 2013. You were like, oh, Colin Farrell, but they didn't have no fun.
No.
That shit was ass. I seen it one time. I'll never watch it again. And I'm mad that I even took the time to watch it.
No, because what they did is they took this ridiculous, wild ass story and tried to make it serious. You cannot make this story serious. It's not going to hit.
It's not fun.
No.
Man. This is great, man.
Real quick too. Love the Johnny Cab. How is a robot such a smug asshole, dude?
Yeah,
He's a smart little prick. And it's funny because, you know, the likeness, that was actually played by, what's this guy's name? Robert Ricardo. He did the voice, and then the animatronic, you know, cyborg looking thing, that was actually his face.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like he acted in the movie without even having to show up.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, I mean, overall, man, I think this is one of the great films, man. Like, this is this definitely holds up, especially from that era and in general, man. Like, this is kind of the indicator to me that you don't have to be ultra serious with this stuff, man. Just try to turn just try to make a fun film, dude.
Yes,
you know?
I mean, entertainment is so widespread. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to put yourself in a box. If for it to be a sci-fi, it doesn't have to just be like Alien or whatever. For it to be an action adventure, it doesn't have to just be like a specific film. I mean, spread your reach a little bit. It's okay to throw laughable moments and find just the enjoyment in the entertainment of what you're watching, man. And this film does that in every way, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's crazy, dude. That's what's up, man. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know, bro. Definitely check out Total Recall, man.
Yes.
It's one of the greats, man. You know what I'm saying? And yeah,
I would say, yeah, man. I mean, if you've seen it, watch it again. If you haven't seen it, put it on your must-watch list. The rewatchability of this film is extremely high. It's enjoyable every time. You're not going to find a bunch of Easter eggs on your second, third, fifth, 500th viewing, but it's not going to take anything away from the film or the value that it holds as a blockbuster, entertaining film.
Yeah, man, it's a great ride, man. Definitely one of the best, man. One of the definitely a classic of cinematics, man. I think we can wrap this up, man.
Yeah.
So this is Monk. You can catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter, Instagram, and follow us at Classic of Cinematics on Instagram and at FTC Net from the Canopy Network on Instagram, and also click below if you want to buy a shirt, a mug, sticker, whatever to help support us, man, on this show.
And this Bobby Blockbuster. You can catch me at Bobby Blockbuster 118. And yeah, keep watching, keep liking. Hopefully one day we get paid because some of us got kids to feed.
Yeah, that's what's up, folks, man. All right, man. All right, we're gonna catch y'all next time, folks. Peace.